score more clients, and basically how to grow your online business. And today to talk about this, I have a guest. I have here with me Miranda Nahmias from mirandanahmias.com. Welcome to the show, Miranda.
Hi, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. So let's start talking about you. Let's start talking about how you started your blog, how you started your business, and how you did everything that is running on for you right now.
Sure. So I started about 4 years ago. I was fresh out of college. I had a bachelor's degree in English, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. Lucky for me, my dad has his own business. It's a publishing company, and so he hired me, and I worked there for a couple of years, gaining experience in a couple of different areas. But I knew that I didn't really want to work with him forever. I loved working with him, but I really wanted to do my own thing. And seeing him run his own business really kind of inspired me to start my own business. So using some of the skills that I learned with him, some like graphic design stuff and client management, I decided to try and start my own business. And now here I am 4 years later. I'm full-time, and even my husband as well, he's full-time working in our business, and we have a team of 15 people. So it's been really great, and I love owning my own business.
And was it difficult at the beginning when you started by yourself and you didn't have this team of 15 people and your husband wasn't working with you? Was it difficult to start your business and try to settle everything that you wanted to create?
Yeah, I mean, I think that everybody has struggles when they're first starting out. That's totally normal. And for me, I really struggled with niching down. I mean, like a lot of entrepreneurs, I was really drawn to many different things. I loved to do everything, and I enjoyed working with different people and working with different tools, and it was really hard for me to decide for good like who I wanted to work with and what I wanted to do, but I just found eventually over time I kind of figured it out. But in the beginning I really struggled because I had like entrepreneur ADD, like I wanted to do everything.
Right. And how did you found your niche at the end? How did you discover it?
Eventually, I just went with what I was most passionate about, which is marketing. And I worked mostly with women, and I found that I just really enjoyed working with other online business owners who are women. So I kind of through trial and error kind of figured out who I liked working with a lot and who I didn't necessarily like working with, and what I liked doing the most versus what I liked doing not as much.
Got it. And would it be the same suggestion, advice you will give to someone who is starting right now to start working with something he's or her or she's passionate about, or would you give another advice?
Well, it's tough because you have to make sure that you're passionate about it, but also that it's going to make you money. There are a lot of things that people are passionate about that aren't necessarily profitable. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. But I would recommend trying as many different things as you can. Through that process of experimentation and trying new things, that's how I really figured out what I like doing and what I didn't, because I was able to narrow it down. Where I find sometimes people want to put themselves in a box right away when they launch their businesses, and they decide before they even work with clients or do anything, and you end up maybe like regretting that decision later, but you've already like put yourself in this box, so it's hard to break out. So I would recommend not being so strict with it in the beginning and doing some experimentation and letting yourself like see which path you want to go down, because who knows what you could end up liking.
Yeah, that's a good advice actually. And to me, it happened the same thing. I started with a topic, with a niche at the beginning, and then I realized that, well, I wasn't passionate about that, and I chose it just because it was bringing me money. And at the
Yeah.
end, I stopped doing it, even if it was profitable and it got successful. But I didn't like it. That was the only thing. So I think it's a good answer to say that you have to find something you're passionate about, but at the same time should be profitable. Even because bringing on an online business means investing money. And
Yeah.
if that thing doesn't make you money, there is no way to keep going on. And talking about making money and being profitable, how long did it take you to reach at least the level you were expecting from your business in talking about
Hmm.
profitability?
I don't know that when I started out, I didn't really know what to expect. So I'm not sure how to answer that question because I didn't really have a goal set for myself. I was just gonna try it and see if it
Mm-hmm.
worked. I was pretty lucky where I was able to make a profit right away, but it was a very small amount. But I didn't have a lot of overhead because I was just doing like virtual assistant work at first. So my first month I made like $85 profit.
Not
Um,
bad.
but then I was able to go full time after about a year. So in within that time, I was making enough where I could afford to stay home and just do the business.
Nice. And if you, let's assume you're talking to someone who wants to start an online business and doesn't know where to start, which were the steps you took to build your business, and what are the steps you would suggest to someone? Which are the steps that you wanted to avoid it, but you didn't know that they were wrong when you started? So let's talk about this.
Okay, that's a good question. So I think that I did okay, and I guess I would recommend what I did, which is I built a website, I built a blog, I started blogging every week. I used social media, especially Pinterest was really good for me to
Mm-hmm.
grow traffic and build my email list. And then I used my email list to I nurtured them and I was able to get sales from my email list.
Right.
Um, Also, I spent a lot of time networking and building relationships. I find that sometimes people skip that step, like they want to automate it and have like passive income right off the bat. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes it's hard to gain traction if you don't have connections or you don't have friends in the industry to help you along. And that was something that I found was really helpful.
Right. And you said at the beginning that you started working as a designer. Do you think it was easier for you to know already what to do in terms of design, since you had to create a blog and a website, or you think that more or less it's the same thing for everyone, even someone who doesn't know how to design a page or a website could do it even without the skills?
I think you can do it even without the skills. There are so many tools out there now that even just a couple years ago that there weren't they weren't out there. Like website builders like Squarespace and tools like that make it so easy for people, even if they have no experience online
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever. It's pretty easy to pick up. And I mean, I say that as somebody who I feel like I'm good at picking things up, but I don't think it's that hard. And yes, I have like a tiny bit of experience, but I feel like I don't want to like overplay that. I didn't have a lot. Like I was still really bad when I first started. So I definitely learned a lot just through trial and error and working on my own projects.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's talk so about clients, because this is what a lot of people want to know: how to reach clients, how to get clients, and how to start consulting or working for somebody else. I don't know
Yeah.
your system, like what you do, what brings you money right now. What is the major thing that brings you money? Are clients that you're consulting, or are online courses, or what is your system?
So what I do is I offer done for you systematic marketing packages.
Right.
So my most popular offering is my monthly Pinterest management package. So that is a big part of my revenue is I manage people's Pinterest accounts.
Okay.
Um, I also do have a couple of courses, including a program where I teach people how to systemize and scale their businesses by having a team.
Nice. And you reach those people how? Because of your blog, because you had traffic and people were knowing about you, and then you were reaching them directly, personally, or what?
I would say like it's about 50% referrals from other people, like past clients and friends, and then 50% will come to me from Pinterest. I get a
Okay.
lot of traffic and clients from Pinterest.
Right. So this is the advice you will give to someone who wants to get clients to create first a website and a blog and then get some traffic and then through referrals finding clients, or would you suggest to do something else?
Yeah, I mean, that's what works for me, and what works for a lot of my clients is like an organic content marketing strategy that you're using Pinterest to bring in the traffic, and then once
Hmm.
they get to your site, you're converting them onto your email list, and then you're using an email sequence to convert them into clients or customers.
Right. Okay, so let's get a little into details of how to acquire clients or acquire leads on your website. So someone
Yeah.
arrives to your website because of the traffic you're generating with Pinterest, and then what should you have on your website to get those leads, or what you have on your website right now?
Yeah, so in a blog post, you should offer some type of content upgrade or lead magnet that is specifically geared to attracting clients.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I would offer something like how to hire like a Pinterest marketer or something. Like you want to really make sure that your lead magnet isn't geared towards people who want to DIY whatever it is you offer. You want to
Right.
make sure that it's like specifically geared to clients who are possibly going to hire you. And then once they download that, usually I include in the lead magnet, I'll even include like a button that goes to book a discovery call or go to my sales page.
Right.
And then I follow up with several emails that kind of nurture them, tell them about my most popular content and how I help people, and then a couple of emails that push straight to a discovery call.
Right. And this is the well, you're working with Pinterest clients, so you are
Mhm.
dealing with their profiles, their pages, and you're working on that. But if you are working with someone you have to coach about creating this kind of system, what would you suggest you to do? To do the same thing you've done, or you think that there is another system?
Um, I think that this system can work for any type of service provider,
All
whether
right.
you do services, whether you're a coach, even sometimes with info products like ebooks or courses, this type of system can work. It's just instead of sending them to a discovery call, you're going to send them to your sales page.
Right. Okay. The system is at the end is the same process.
Yeah.
Um, and since you talked about Pinterest, I don't want to get too much into details because I know that Pinterest is pretty complicated to there are so many things that you have to learn. At least I'm going through Pinterest right now. I'm using Tailwind. So if we have to talk about Pinterest, we have to take another episode just to talk about that. But for someone who wants to start with Pinterest, what are a few advice you can give how to create boards or how to use boards to get traffic? What would you suggest there on Pinterest?
It's really all about finding high quality group boards. So these are boards that you basically collaborate on with other people in your niche. So targeted specifically to whatever type of content that you are blogging about. You want to share your content to those boards. And then these boards, the way that it works is it kind of like pushes out your content that you pin to that board to all of the followers of that board. So that is how you can amplify your results with Pinterest. So personal boards are good as well, but you want to make sure that you have a good mix of personal boards and group boards. And like
Right.
you said, I highly recommend using Tailwind to schedule out all of your content.
And how long it took you before getting enough traffic or before starting making the ball rolling with Pinterest?
Um, I would say like 3 months.
All right. And would you suggest to use social media as well, or you think that Pinterest would be enough for a blog because it's bringing a lot of traffic and you don't have to use anything else?
Um, I I mean, it depends how much you want to do. I think that you can get started with just Pinterest, but with Pinterest, it's really easy to automate. So you can also kind of set it and then go and focus your time on other things like your Facebook page or your Instagram profile. I
Right.
think that having like a well-rounded presence online is good, but you also don't want to take on too much. So you really want to pick just a handful of platforms that you can really dedicate your time to.
Got it. All right. Before we wrap it up, everything, do you have other final advice to give to someone who wants to grow an online business, or motivational advice, whatever you have in your mind that you can suggest to someone?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
I just really like systems. I think that any system you can set up in your business that you can automate and or is repeatable or you can delegate it out to your team is going to be super helpful. You can't systemize everything. Some things need like one-on-one attention from you, like networking, content creation, and that kind of stuff. But having repeatable systems in your business can help you do so much. And that's really how I've built my business, is making sure to have a system for everything. And just being organized and having systems isn't like as hard as it sounds or as boring as it sounds, but it is really good, and I highly recommend using systems like all over the place in your business.
All right. Actually, I have another question. So,
Yeah.
since we at the beginning we talked about struggle, the struggling when you're starting a business, and obviously you won't get results from the beginning. You have to go through a pain period that is
Yeah.
could be longer for someone or shorter for somebody else. How did you keep motivated yourself during this period, not giving up, keep working on what you had to do, and yeah, be sure about the result that you wanted to reach?
Um, I, so something that's really important to me is making sure that I'm happy in what I'm doing every day. And I knew that other things like working for somebody else or working in a corporate office, like that wasn't going to make me happy. My goal was to create a business where I woke up every day and I loved what I was doing. So I really just made sure to like, always keep that in mind, that that's the goal, and keep doing things that I love, focus on what I enjoy doing that's also profitable. And that really helped me going, is just that kind of pie in the sky idea of like, one day I'm going to have this amazing business that's going to support me full time, and I'm not going to have to work for anybody else, and I'm going to love what I do every single day.
Definitely love it. Nice. Okay, so Miranda, thank you very much for everything, all the advice you gave us. If someone wants to know something more about you, I already put your website on this page, but on this video. But do you have any other links or project you're working on, or things that you want to mention? Well,
No, just head over to my website. I have a lot of blog posts, so you could dive in and binge read those to your heart's content.
great. I'm sure people are going to do that. All right. So thank you again. And guys, you are watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, or you are listening this on podcast. Feel free to share this episode with everyone could be interested in this. And Miranda, thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much.